Hello everyone. Welcome to the next episode of, I'm not sure what to call this series of videos. I don't have a name for the videos that I'm making or the series. So if you have a suggestion of what I should call this series of episodes, let me know. Tell me in the comments below some suggestions, and maybe what you pick might be what I call my show. So anyways, welcome back to whatever this is called. I am really glad, really happy to be making this next video. It's going to be a little bit different from what we usually do. I normally kind of tell a life experience and some life lessons that I've learned from it, and then some words of encouragement based on that. I'm going to do a little bit something a little bit different this time. I received a text last week from my friend Bernadette, and it was a text with some words of encouragement, and so I really appreciated it. And I wanted to share it with you guys and kind of do a public thank you to Bernadette. And she said, "Hi Javier, I look forward to your vids every Sunday. Don't stop doing what you're doing." Thank you so much, Bernadette. I truly appreciate the fact that someone has been watching every video since I started. That is really encouraging. And so thank you. Thank you so much. And for the rest of you, I wanted to let you know, so me and Bernadette continued talking after she sent that text, and I asked her, I was like, is there any particular topic that you think that might be useful for you or for other people that I can maybe do a video on and discuss? So she sent me another text and she said, maybe you can do a video on finding out our individual purpose in life and how that affects the way we see the world. And what does your purpose say about you? So for this episode, I'm gonna give you some tips and advice on how you can start finding your purpose, all right? So let's get started. So first, I want to present you guys this book here. I'm going to be getting some of my information, or actually most of my information, from this book here. It's called Jump Ship by Shipp, and the subtitle is Ditch Your Dead-End Job and Turn Your Passion into a Profession. So it's all about really finding what it is that you're passionate about and making that into your career and letting go of the jobs that really just don't bring you joy and just kind of hold you back from fulfilling your greater purpose. So I'm not going to cover everything in this book. I would recommend you to read it. One of the quotes that he says that I want to share with you first says, "You were created to make something of your life that no other person on the planet or in the history of the world ever could." So what I believe he's saying with that is you are unique. No one can do the things that you can do. No one can experience the things that you've experienced, at least everything that you've experienced collectively. No one has those experiences. No one can tell the stories that you can tell. Only you can. You have something to offer the world that no one else can offer. So with that alone, you can already see that you have a purpose in this life because you can offer something that nobody else can offer. So with that encouragement, I really encourage you, I can't think of other words, I need to expand my vocabulary, but I really want to encourage you to start believing that you do have a purpose in this life. You know, if you for some reason feel that you don't have anything to offer, stop believing that. That is a lie, okay? Straight up lie. You have something to offer that no one else can. Second thing, living this life is about doing everything you can, everything you absolutely can, even if it costs you your own life, to protect and save what has been entrusted to you. So because you have experiences that nobody else can say that they have, right? And because you have stories and you have value that no one else can give, only you can give, it's your job to share that with the world, right? So one of the quotes that I use on my project of The Untold Story Revealed is a quote by Donald Miller. He says, "What will the world miss if you don't tell your story," right? You have a story to offer that no one else can offer. And what's the world gonna miss if you don't share that story? You are valuable. You have something of value. So believe it, believe it. You have a purpose. But let's backtrack a little bit, right? Because I believe, and Shipp writes this in his book, he says, you're never going to know what you want to do if you don't know who you are. So the first step in finding your purpose is figuring out your identity. Who are you? You can't know what you want until you have a solid sense of who you are. We're gonna start digging in on how we can really figure out who we are as an individual. He has an equation in his book. He says that Y plus X equals Z. So in this equation, what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out who you are, what it is that you want, and how you're going to get it, right? So the why factor is your past. It's why am I here? Like what circumstances in my life, what experiences have I had that brought me to this point right now, right? So that's the why factor, the past. Then you have the X factor. The X factor represents the present. So kind of like on a treasure map, X marks the spot, or when you're looking at a map and it says like you are here, that's kind of like the X. That's your present, where you are right now. And then the Z factor is your future. So your goals, what are you moving towards? And we're gonna get to that a little bit later because you can't really figure that out until you do the previous two, right? So let's start with the past. Let's start with the Y factor. If you wanna figure out why you're here, if you wanna figure out your purpose and who you are, you need to think about two specific things in your Y factor, your past. The first thing you need to think about is how have you suffered and what did you learn from that? So have you experienced rejection, abandonment, loss, abuse? Have you experienced any type of shame, guilt, brokenness in your past? You don't necessarily need to relive those experiences. I'm not telling you to do that at all. But what I'm saying is think back to those moments just enough to think about what you learned from those experiences. So now that you have, hindsight and you can reflect back and think about what it was that those horrible moments maybe taught you, I want you to think about that. Spend some time reflecting on that. Second thing, what in your past have you enjoyed the most? What experiences brought you joy, happiness, bliss, peace, serenity? What do you enjoy? That's the second thing you need to know. So, how have you suffered and what have you learned from it? And two, what has brought you joy in the past? You need to know those two things before you can move on, all right? So take some time to do that. Moving on, we're now gonna talk about the X factor, right? So the present. There's a quote in the book Jump Ship where he says, now is the first moment of the rest of your life. This moment right here, this moment where you're making the choice to actually start discovering what your purpose is, this is the first moment of your life. From this moment on, you're never gonna be the same once you start working towards your purpose. Because once you find your purpose, then you're gonna be able to start, making goals and moving on. So let's get to the present. There's 4 questions that you need to reflect on in order to understand who you are and then in turn to find your purpose. First question, what makes you unique? What makes you different from everybody else? We've already talked about, that you've had experiences that nobody else has had. You can tell stories and you have value that nobody else can give because only you have had those experiences. So what makes you unique? I'll give you some examples from my personal life. So one thing that makes me unique is that I play an instrument called the glockenspiel. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you in just a second. This is a glockenspiel. It's kind of like a little mini xylophone. When I was in band, they called it like the bells. And so, you hit it with mallets and stuff. So this makes me unique because I don't know anybody else that plays the glockenspiel regularly. And I actually spent some time like by myself just learning new songs on the glockenspiel. I don't really play it in public because I'm a little embarrassed, honestly. But also it's really heavy and the case is really heavy, so like taking it to places is kind of inconvenient. But yeah, so this makes me unique. Another thing that makes me unique is that I have twin sisters. And I don't know a lot of people that have twin siblings, I'm not a twin, but I have 2 sisters that are twins. And so I guess, I don't know if that's unique about me or unique about them, but still, I like to consider it unique about me because they're an important part of my life. And another thing that is unique about me is that, so I need a haircut, but I have like dark color hair, right? Like dark brown. But in my beard, if you get close enough, you can see that I have red hair. I don't know why I have red hair. I don't know anybody in my family that has red hair, but I have red hair in my beard. And you can't really tell on video, it just looks dark brown. But when you get close enough and when the sun is like shining on it, right, you can see that I have red hair. So maybe I'm Irish, I don't know. But anyways, so that's something else that makes me unique, right? And last thing that makes me unique is that I don't really like chocolate. A lot of people like chocolate, but I'm not really a fan. I'll eat it, you know, if it's like mixed with other stuff, like in Reese's or chocolate chip cookies, but really those are not my preferred things. You know, I like things like without chocolate. So those are 4 things that make me unique. Nobody else can have that combination of uniqueness except for me. So think about what makes you unique, because I guarantee that you have things that are different from everybody else. So that's the first thing in the X Factor. The second thing in the X Factor, what do you love and what do you hate? So I love spending time with people. That is something that I absolutely love. Just being in the presence of others. And I also love learning other languages. I don't know if you guys know this, but I speak English and Spanish, but I also am learning Korean. That's kind of like my 3rd language. And then I have some programs to learn some other languages, which I don't want to bore you with. But I like learning a lot of languages. That's kind of just something that I enjoy doing, mainly because I like to talk and I don't really want language to be a communication barrier with me and other people. Things that I hate, I really hate gossip. I hate, I guess, witnessing that gossiping is happening. And I hate when people start gossiping, like, or trying to share gossip with me, or, you know, or even when it's about me. Like, I don't know, gossip is just something that really bothers me. And along with that, I don't like bullying. I hate seeing people get bullied or made fun of or picked on just because of really stupid reasons. So those are things that I love and those are things that I hate, right? So that tells a little bit more about me. And it might give me some inspiration on what my purpose might be, right? The third thing on the X Factor is, what are you good at? This one took me a while to think about because, man, what am I good at? And I think this might actually be probably the most challenging one for many of you because sometimes it's hard to find what our strengths are. And if we don't have practice in thinking about what we're good at, it's sometimes hard for us. But I guarantee that you're really good at things that, you know, maybe other people are not that good at. Some of the things that I think I'm good at is, number one, I think I'm good at empathizing and feeling what other people are feeling. I'm able to connect emotionally with other people whenever they're going through certain situations. Whether I show it or not is a different story, but I really believe that I'm good at empathizing. Another thing I think I'm good at is leadership and administration. When I'm involved in group projects, I tend to kind of take lead at times, and I just have a lot of experience in that. So I think I'm good at that. I probably could be better, and there's always, you know, things that I can learn and improve on. But those are some of the qualities that I believe I'm good at. So that's number 3. Number 4 of the X Factor is, what do you believe? So this one, I believe, in my opinion, is the biggest one. Because whether you're spiritual or not, what you believe is definitely going to dictate how you view the world, and based on how you view the world, it's going to kind of like determine more of who you are and what your purpose is. So I'm not going to get too deep into this, but for example, I am a Christian, so I hold Christian worldview beliefs. And within that worldview, that already kind of molds and shapes the type of person that I work to become, and also molds and shapes the purpose that I believe I have on this planet. So what is it that you believe? You're gonna probably need to take some time to ask some serious questions like where did I come from? What is the meaning of life? What happens after death? You know, if anything happens, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're not spiritual, that's totally fine. But I still believe that you need to ask these types of questions to yourself. What is it that you believe? What is your worldview? So those are the 4 things that make the X Factor. Let me repeat them for you. What makes you unique? What do you love and hate? What are you good at? And what do you believe? Okay? Now, the last thing, the Z Factor. We're not going to get too much into this because this is really where you're going to have to do a lot of brainstorming. But pretty much the Z Factor is when you look at your future, when you visualize your future, the ideal future, get rid of any limitations, get rid of issues of money. I want you to think of your ideal future, what it is that you want, your goals, okay? And I want you just to write down some of those goals that you have, all right? Even if they're like completely out there and just ridiculous, just write them down. Write down those goals, write down your ideals, the things that you want to achieve. Later on, then you can start refining it based on reality, based on the X factor, based on your actual skills, based on your actual passions. Then you can start refining those future goals, and maybe you can even start making plans to build some skills to get to those goals, right? The Z factor is all about just visualizing what it is that you actually want. So now that you know who you are, now that you know what it is that you like and enjoy and what you're good at, and now you know the lessons that you've learned from the past, put all of that together, and start formulating some goals for your future. And I believe that at the end of this process, you'll start having a better picture in your mind of what your purpose might be. I can't tell you exactly what your purpose is. That's something that you got to figure out yourself. But I do believe that if you follow these steps, you'll be able to start figuring out what your purpose is little by little. I don't think that just doing this one time is all of a sudden, oh, that's what my purpose is in life, you know? Maybe it'll come to you that fast, but maybe it won't. So I want you to take a couple of days, you know, take this whole week, like Monday through Friday, these 5 days, and think about this every single day. Think about the Y factor, the X factor, the Z factor every single day, and try to refine it a little bit more and a little bit more until you feel a little bit more confident about what your purpose is. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I am still trying to figure out what my purpose is I guess in its more narrow, complete form. I have a general idea of what my purpose is, but I'm still trying to figure things out, and I learn new things as I go. And I believe the same thing is gonna happen to you. So do these exercises Monday through Friday, and leave some comments if you have questions about this thing. If you want a little bit more information, leave me a comment. I will make sure to get back to you. I'll answer all the questions that I can answer. If I can't answer it, I'll try my best, or I'll find resources for you. And yeah, I'm here to help you to become the person that you want to be, to find your purpose. So with that, I'm gonna say goodbye, sign off. This is the end of the episode. If you want to follow more episodes and get more information on this type of topics, then please subscribe. Look forward to seeing you next week. Hope this helped. I will catch you later. See ya. Bye.